to tell you a story that I hope you'll understand, and if you don't understand, ask somebody who understands it, because I still don't. Little Max Simon, I hope you understand the story as well at the end. And the story is about a little boy. But when I say the story is about a little boy, you can substitute little girl if that helps you understand the story better. And if I say little and you think, actually I think I'm bigger than that boy or girl, then you can substitute your own face and size for the person in the story. So let me tell you the story, Daniel. The story is about a little boy. And the boy is so fed up with all the rules at home. Does that sound like anybody you know? I have a lawyer protecting me, but not her. This boy is so fed up. There's so many rules. There are rules on the refrigerator. There are rules in his bedroom. There are rules and rules and rules everywhere. He has to do things. He has to eat certain things, sometimes that he doesn't want to eat. And he's so tired of being told what to do, and he's so fed up of fighting with his little sister. All the time she wants his things. She comes into his room, she takes his things. And one day he gets so upset, you know what he does? He packs a little paper bag, like a Vons bag, a supermarket bag, and he puts some of his favorite things in it, maybe a little teddy bear, some clothes, and he leaves. He leaves. He says, I've had enough of this house and its rules. And the little boy heads off down the road, out of his town, out of his village, and away. And he decides, if I go far enough, they'll never find me. So he keeps walking and walking and walking, and he sees a forest always been told not to go into in the distance, but he decides he's brave and strong, and if he's going to go it alone in life, he better go through the forest. So he goes into the forest, and he's marching through the forest, wondering, as long as I go straight and don't change my foot direction, I won't end up back home. I'll go where I want to go, anywhere away from home. Away from the yelling and being told off and being told what to eat and when to eat and what to wear and what to do. So the little boy walks until he grows so tired and the sun sets, and by this point he isn't even scared of the forest. He's been there for so long. He's heard the sounds, the whispers of the forest, and knows that at the most there are squirrels and birds in the trees. So he lies down to sleep for the night, only knowing that he's going to journey forward in the morning. But he doesn't know, how am I going to know how to journey forward? How will I know? How will I be sure that I don't accidentally head back toward my own home and my village? So he has a great idea. He takes his shoes off and he lays them down next to his head in the direction that he was walking. And he knows, if my shoes are facing in that direction and I get up in the morning and I step into my shoes and I continue walking, I'll head away from home and I'll go toward wherever it is that I'm going, but away. So he goes to sleep. And in the night, a little nymph, a little fairy, a little goblin of the forest comes. And this little nymph comes down a tree, maybe it's an angel, and climbs over to where the little boy is and very quietly takes one shoe and then the other and turns them exactly around. So that now the boy's shoes are facing just where he's been, not where he's going. So the boy wakes up when the sun rises in the morning, and he gets up and he decides to step right into his shoes, and he gets into his shoes knowing he's heading away from home. And he journeys and journeys and journeys nearly a whole day, almost till sunset, and he sees a village. And he sees trees, and he goes, that's where I'd like to live. That's my kind of place. Look at the trees. There's a park, and there are kids playing, and there are houses that look beautiful. And he walks up, and he gets to the entrance of the town, and he sees houses. He goes, I wish my parents lived in a house like this. And he goes up a street and he goes, this looks just like the street I lived on, but it can't be. It must be better than the street I lived on. And he walks forward and he comes to a house. And he stops at this house. He doesn't even know why he stopped there, but he looks in the windows. And he looks up at the roof and he looks around at the backyard and he sees toys and swings and the kinds of things that a little boy wants and needs. And then he peeks in through the window to see what kind of people live in such a perfect house. And he sees at a dining table at dinner, there's a mommy and there's a daddy at a table just like theirs. It's a table just like the one he grew up with. Parents kind of look just like his, but somehow they seem a bit different now. And he sees a little girl smiling at them across the table at one point, passing food and taking food. But the rest of the time, he thinks she looks a little upset. So he has the courage, because he wants the new life in the new place. It's got to be better than where he came from. So he goes up to the door, and he taps first quietly, and then he knocks a little louder until finally the little girl looks up and points at the window with the biggest grin on her face. And she runs to the door, and she opens the door, and this girl throws her arms around her brother. So what do you think the story is telling us? Yeah, that was the end. I didn't say the end, but that was the end. So who can tell me what they think the story is telling us? Go on, somebody be brave.
That there's such things as little elves.
That there's such things as little elves. Be open to all answers. That's what I tell myself when I sit here. So
That baby peanuts are alive.
I think my medication's kicking in at the wrong time. The baby peanuts are still alive. What's the serious answer? What do you think?
That there's no place like home.
That there's no place like your home for you. That my home wouldn't be right for you, and neither would another's. That your home is the right one for you and your parents and your family. And that sometimes when we come to places like this, we go home to the same exact homes that we came from. But if we want to look at them differently and see life differently, they can be magical places. So I want to ask all of you to please rise.